most that I could.
Welcome to a brand new £5 retro game challenge in which I try to buy as many games as possible for the sum of £5. So sit back and enjoy as we dive into Beeston's CEX. So upon entering this delicious establishment, we are greeted with some Nintendo goodness, and as ever, there's slim pickings on the Nintendo Wii U front, but plenty to pick from the likes of the Wii, the 3DS, the DS, and in a split second we're going to turn around and I'm going to show you guys just how slim pickings it was for the cartridge-based retro games. But I would say this, if you're in Beeston, it is worth checking this CEX out because they had an overall good range of stock and products. The store was clean and it was quite big and bright and airy. Now here are the cartridge-based retro games. I say cartridge, we have a Dreamcast and some Sega Saturn stuff there. So like I said, slim pickings, but £15 for a Super Nintendo controller, that to me seemed a little bit steep. I know they can range from about £5 to £10 depending on condition, but I wasn't in the market for one anyway, but I wanted to capture the essence of this store as I do in every episode of the £5 game challenge. Now we're taking a peek at the Xbox 360 games, and Crackdown 2, are we getting a Crackdown reboot? I'm pretty certain we're getting a Crackdown reboot. I've never actually played any game from the franchise, and you know, do I need to start at the beginning or can I jump in it straight at Crackdown 2? Let me know in the comments section below as we continue through this episode. Now, I specifically went in here for a copy of Silent Hill Downpour. That was completely exclusive of the challenge, but I have been streaming it right here on YouTube all weekend, and I must say this, it is one of the better Silent Hill games in my opinion. Call me crazy, I know. Aside from the first and the second, which will always be pearly gems in my heart, Silent Hill Downpour feels very different. It's got a very good pace. It feels more laden with horror than it does puzzle, which I like. And I'm just going to say it right here, if you've got a spare 22 quid jangling around in your pockets, Silent Hill Downpour, Xbox 360, fill your boots. Oh, and it is also on the PlayStation 3 as well. Speaking of PS3 games, I do take a little look at what we've got to offer here. We got some Saints Row. Not a huge fan of the Saints Row series. I do get asked a lot about my thoughts on Saints Row, and I just don't really, I don't know, it just never really gelled with me as much as kind of other series have on the PlayStation 3. So that's why you'll probably never see me stream it, and I'll probably never talk about it again. And if you can hear my dog in the background, that's her telling you to hit subscribe, leave a like, and share this stream to Twitter using hashtag Team24. So at this stage in the retro game hunt then, I'm still jostling with some 360 games, and I clocked some original Xbox games. Now in this store, there wasn't as much in terms of your OG Xbox as what I was expecting. I think there's been a marginal decline in original Xbox games in CEX. And PSP, I was quite surprised at how thin on the ground they were for your Sony PSP games. Now if you want some PSP and OG Xbox, check out the Mansfield store, which has a plethora of a selection, and I'm looking forward to diving back into that store and, you know, giving it a good go over again for another episode of this amazing challenge. I love doing this, but it's getting very difficult actually, guys, because the rules are no doubles and no football titles. So yes, I'm at that point where I'm struggling. And speaking of the rules and of the games, I will show you, as I do in every episode, exactly what I've picked up. Do I go under budget on this? Do I go over budget? Or do I get it bang on? 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty bang on with my selection for £5. I think the most games I've ever gotten was 7. Now, obviously, if I went in and bought all the 10p copies of FIFA, I could beat my record, but that's kind of completely defeating the object because I don't want these as kind of shelf fillers or just video content. I want to be able to play these games and enjoy these games. So for me, I'm trying to kind of balance it out when I'm doing these episodes. Now, this particular box, the Prince of Persia trilogy, you don't come across that very often. Now, I got a copy a few years back at the car boot for £1, but in here it was priced at £6. So it's a little bit of, one of those things that you don't see around that often. So if you do manage to see it, I would suggest that you cop it and just be mindful that £6 is probably your base reading. So if it's £6 in CEX and people are selling it for more, you're getting ripped off. If it's under, you're definitely snagging yourselves a bargain. Now, there's not much left in the PS3 library that I feel I should be purchasing, and that's not to say I have an absolute mammoth PS3 library by any stretch, but I have the bulk of the games that I want to play. And a couple of games back, you saw me pick up a game called Blur. Now, in one of the last Charity Shop Retro Game Hunt episodes I did, I left a copy of Blur on the shelf, and it was £1, and everybody was like screaming at me in the comments saying, "Yo, oh my god, I hope you picked it up." And I didn't, because I'd never played it, and I just passed it off as another one of those racing games that I'm probably not going to play, I'm probably not going to like, but I apologise, and I should have picked it up. I think I've since acquired a copy from another charity shop. But check out that, the Simpsons game, bagging in at £22. There are some PS3 games out there that really do hold its price, and obviously Silent Hill Downpour 360, definitely some 360 games that also hold their juicy price tags. Now, there was one episode of the £5 game challenge when I absolutely went berserk and bought every single PS2 game in cash converters. Yes, I was over budget, but I did go in there for a £5 game challenge and walked out with over 200 PlayStation 2 games. If you miss that episode by any chance, I will do my best. In fact, I will link the entire £5 game challenge playlist in the cards. You'll see it on the thumbnail. You'll know exactly when you've hit that video. I bought every single PS2 game in the store. That's why when I do these challenges, I'm always a little bit standoffish with PS2 games. Things have to really jump out at me. But remember, they have to be cheap, because the aim of the game, I need as many games as possible that I'm going to play for £5. Okay, let's just have a little bit of a talk about safety in these stores. Yes, I hand sanitize. I always take some with me. There are hand sanitizers in this particular store as well, and you've got your social distancing markers. But I was lucky in this episode because there weren't that many people in the store. Usually I'm kind of getting banged into, and I'm banging into people and this and that, but as you guys can see from the footage, pretty darn empty. So I will be going back to this store. I do like it. I wish I could have spent that probably a little bit more time in there, but I was kind of like, I've got it. I spent a good amount here. Now, Turok on the PS3. I say I have all PS3 games that I want to play. There's one that I want to play and I completely didn't pick it up. That was the Steelbook version. My question is this: what is Turok like on the PS3 versus the Nintendo 64? If anybody can answer that question for me, I would be elated, because as you guys saw, Turok was, I think it's like £2-3 max, and that's for a Steelbook edition as well. So I think as a collector, it's that nice little bit of an edge with the Steelbook, but hey, if I can get a good game out of it as well, then I'm all for that. Now, we drop back down to the front of the store, and I do buy a 3DS game for £2, and I featured it in the last episode, but I'd already gone over. If I'd have bought it, I would have gone over my budget. So you're probably going to guess what it is, because I'm about to pull it out. It was Steel Diver at £2, so I've spoilt it, but I want you guys to hang around to see the rest of the games that I got. Nintendo. Ironically, pulling a Sonic game out on a Nintendo as I'm barking Nintendo into the mic. Joking aside, Sonic games are actually alright on the DS. I love picking out like Turtles games as well. I think that for me, kind of like parking this challenge to one side, when I see a Turtles game, I'm always looking at it because I'll know immediately by the front cover if I've got it, because the artwork is so distinguishable because it's so freaking gnarly. I didn't pick that particular one up because I didn't really want to pay 12 quid, but nonetheless I feel that Turtles is a great gaming franchise, and I'm kind of curious what's been some of your favourite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games of the past. So at this point, I think I had about £1 left over to spend, and I'm just double checking the Xbox 360 titles. Now I'm gravitating more towards the 360 titles in these challenges because I can stream them on my Xbox One S, which is hooked up to the streaming booth over the other side of the room to me. Unfortunately, there is a HDCP kind of block on PS3s or something like that prevents Elgato from getting a signal to be able to stream from PS3. It's pretty crap, if I'm brutally honest. And when will Sony finally make the PS4 backwards compatible with all of their previous consoles? I don't think we'll see it. I think if we were going to see backwards compatibility with PlayStation 4, we would have seen it by now. But hey, stranger things have happened. Who knows? But yeah, for now, I'm kind of gravitating more towards the 360. Now, like I said before, no football, no doubles. So if you're doing this challenge yourself, bear in mind the rules. And I am quite shocked at how many people are doing this challenge themselves. And I get tagged a lot on social media. You know, you guys are kind of going in here with your kind of family and your kids, and you're getting some really good games. So keep going, keep at it, and we'll continue to deliver these awesome episodes because I love doing them. This stage, I believe I was down to 50 pence to fill. Now I'm kind of browsing here. There's some good titles here, some really good titles, some belters, but I had them. And even this, like this for 50p, I'll play it out in a minute. Sega Superstars, 50p for that. I mean, that is a great title for 50 pence. So I just have it. I mean, I don't want to cheat. If I sometimes accidentally buy doubles, it is an honest mistake. Like I said, I could quite easily go in here and buy every copy of FIFA and be like, yo, I got like 1,000 games for a £5. But no, I'm doing this honestly. I'm doing this with integrity. Okay, so again, in my mind now, I know I'm down to about 50p, still at 50p, and I'm having one last scour at the OG Xbox games. And I'll tell you something, guys, sometimes I'm like at £4.50 and I'll see a game for £2 and I'll put stuff back and I'll kind of like, and my mind just completely flip-flops when I do these challenges. I mean, it takes me ages to kind of add stuff up in my head, but when, you know, I've got it, and I think at this stage, we're not showing the Switch games yet. I'm just kind of browsing thinking, do I need anything else? And I did actually pick up a nice title on here. I picked up Roller Coaster Tycoon on the Switch. Probably overpaid for it at £30 because I know you can get it cheaper online. But I know Planet Coaster, huge fan on the PC, Planet Coaster has been put back to a Christmas release. So I thought I'd kind of treat myself and get a little bit of goodness with Planet Coaster. I've not heard great things, but hey, 30 quid, it is what it is. Now, in the next clip, you're about to see what I picked up for £5. Did I go over? Did I go under? Let's check it out, and please stay to the end of the video because it's cool. Catch you in the next one, guys. Subscribe, and I'll see you soon.